The Penguins with a huge Game 2 win, tying up the series 1-1. Wow, I don't think I took a single breath in the entire third period, man. What a game. And I want to start it off by talking about the fans. So as we all know, 50% of the fans were in the building tonight instead of the usual 25%. And wow, you can hear it from the puck drops, the let's go Pens chants, the reactions to all the big plays, the booing, all that stuff. It just shows me how important these fans actually are, because I don't think the Penguins start that well if this was a road game. They were definitely feeling that energy from the minute the puck dropped. And speaking of puck drop, let's get straight into the game. So last game in Game 1, the Penguins had a great first period. And again tonight, they have an even better first period. They were absolutely flying. And this time they actually get 2 goals and give up nothing, which is an even better first period than we saw in Game 1. It starts off with Brian Rust coming in, taking such a harmless shot, beats Varlamov glove side. And it was so nice to see that go in, because the Islanders had about maybe I'd say 3 of those goals in Game 1. Exactly like that, harmless shots that beat Tristan Jarry glove side. It was so nice to see it go the other way, and the Penguins just taking a harmless shot that should have been stopped, and Varlamov lets it in. I think that was a worse goal than all of the 3 that Tristan Jarry should have had in Game 1. That goal for Varlamov was even worse. So it's so nice to see that happening, and the Penguins start off the game 1-0. The Penguins continue the forechecking, and then it's the second line coming in. An amazing forecheck from Kapanen, taking a hit to make a play. It gets to Jared McCann, and he does a great job finding Jeff Carter. And here's where a guy like Jeff Carter, his experience just comes through in this moment. Maybe any other player one-times that puck because there's so much pressure in that type of moment. But the veteran Jeff Carter is patient with the puck. He waits. As Varlamov slides with him to keep up with him, it opens up the 5-hole. Carter finds that 5-hole, and just like that, it's 2-0 Penguins in the first period. From that point on, it went a little bit back and forth. The Islanders did get their chances, and like we mentioned last game, it was pretty much the talk of the town was Tristan Jarry needs to be better in this game. The Islanders came hard on him in that second half of the first period, but he shut the door, and he allowed the Penguins heading into the second period with that 2-0 lead. But honestly, you couldn't ask for a better first period by the Penguins. All 4 lines were rolling. In just the first period, you noticed every single forward on the ice from the first to the 4th line. And on top of that, you have your 2-0 lead, and Tristan Jarry, who we had a bit of a question mark coming into tonight, made sure to answer that question with a great first period. We go into the second period where the Penguins played pretty well. They got a few power plays, but that's where they didn't play so well. They get their first power play early in the second, and you're thinking, here it is. They played amazing the entire first period. Here's the power play to put them ahead 3-0. But instead, it did absolutely nothing for the Penguins. They were terrible in that first power play. They couldn't even get into the zone, it felt like. You would think that would go the other way and give the Islanders momentum, coming off that huge kill. But this is why I love that Teddy Bluger line so much. And in my opinion, one of the best 4th lines in the entire league. Mike Sullivan puts them out right after that power play, and they single-handedly killed whatever momentum the Islanders could have gained off that huge kill. That Bluger line, along with Dumoulin and Cody Ceci, 2, I'd say, defensive-minded Penguins defensemen. Those 5 guys right there are what kept the momentum on the Penguins side following that, power play. Shortly after that, the Penguins get another power play. It wasn't as bad as the first one. It was the second unit towards the end of the power play that got some good looks, but overall, another, I'd say, bad power play. That is something I think the Penguins need to fix heading to New York for games 3 and 4. That's going to come and bite them down the road somewhere. As we saw tonight, getting goals is going to be hard to come by, and getting that huge power play goal can be the difference between maybe winning a game and losing a game. But at the same time, you would have to think it's going to come eventually. The power play has been good mostly all season, and the Penguins are playing very, very well 5-on-5. So if anything, it makes up for it. It's bad if the Penguins aren't playing well 5-on-5. That's where you need your power play. But anyways, we keep it moving, and that's where Josh Bailey, somewhere in the midway through the second period, just dances his way into the slot and finds the top corner with the backhand, cutting the Penguins' lead to 2-1. And leading up to that point, everybody was playing amazing, but you should never let Josh Bailey walk up like that. I feel like he just walked his way in there. You should have stopped him. In my opinion, nothing Tristan Jarry could have done there. And that's the second period. The Penguins are up 2-1 once again. They find themselves in the same situation as they were in Game 1, up 2-1. Heading into the third. The third period starts, and it looked like the Penguins wanted to end this game with that insurance marker from the start. They were getting so many chances. It was Varlamov who said no. I'm telling you, Varlamov was not allowing a third goal tonight. And that's why it was so important for Tristan Jarry to close this one out by himself, because I think if they tied this game up, the Islanders would have somehow found a way to win this one. Because like I said, Varlamov was not allowing a third goal. The Islanders got their good looks in the third period. Tristan Jarry shut them down, but for the most part, I think it was all Penguins. They were really pressing, going for that third goal. but they just weren't getting it. Brian Dumoulin actually ends up going hard into the boards. When I saw the replay, I thought it was over for Dumoulin. We weren't going to see him again in this entire series. I think not even 3 minutes later, he's on the ice again, killing the lead. How on earth? I had no idea how. I even tweeted, I would be shocked if we saw him in this game. Just look at this series of tweets, right? At 9:32, not looking good for Dumoulin. At 9:33, Dumoulin is out. Look at that. No way he plays. At 9:34, I tweeted, I'll be shocked if Dumoulin comes back in this game. At 9:37, Dumoulin is back on the Pens bench. All in the span of like 5 minutes. Dumoulin looked like he suffered some kind of concussion to being back playing the rest of the game. I hope it's not something that comes up later on. Maybe we find out tomorrow he's not at the practice or whatever. I hope he's actually good to go, because that did look scary, but it was so good to see him come back and help the Penguins kill off that lead. We go all the way down to the last 2 minutes of the game. At this point, the Penguins have yet to take a penalty. They got a couple 4-on-4 situations, but never in a situation where they were killing a penalty. I thought for sure the Islanders were going to get a few power plays throughout that third period. I was actually shocked that their first power play of the game came off of a Brian Rust closing his hand on the puck at the very end of the game. I was absolutely destroyed when I saw that, because I'm like, there's no way the Penguins played this great game and it's going to get ruined off some kind of stupid penalty that the Islanders are going to somehow tie the game and win it in overtime. And that would have been 2 great games that they lost in overtime. But thankfully, when it matters most, we have such great penalty killers. Teddy Bluger, Brandon Tanev, Brian Dumoulin, just a great display in that last minute. They were attacking. They made sure the Islanders didn't get good shots. Tristan Jarry made the saves he needed to make, and just like that, we could exhale. The Penguins get the win and tie up the series. In my opinion, Tristan Jarry, player of the game. You know, he's still a young goalie, right? This is his 3rd career playoff game. The way he handled that adversity, came back and 37 saves tonight in a 2-1 win. That right there is what I want in my goalie, because, you know, bad games will happen. It's how you answer back. And Tristan Jarry bounced back incredibly. I'd say he stole the Penguins this one, although they played great, the Penguins. But like I said, they needed him to steal this one, because if they tied up this game, Varlamov looked like a man on a mission. He wasn't going to allow a 3rd goal. I just love that the Penguins were able to come out here with a win, tie up the series 1-1, and things are going to get better. You have to think Evgeny Malkin is going to be back in one of these next 2 games in New York. Brian Burke was on Sportsnet before tonight's game, and he told them that Malkin should be back in the next 2 games. So if he's not confirming it, I don't know what will. So a lot to look forward to with Gino being right around the corner. In my opinion, what I'm hoping for, just win one of Game 3 or Game 4, come back to Pittsburgh for Game 5, best of 3 series. You know, it's 2-2 at that point. Anything can happen. If you lose both games in New York, you know, what are the odds you come back from down 3-1? But I'd be confident. The Penguins played great in both games so far. It seems like Tristan Jarry can play good in the playoffs. That's it for this one so far. Comment your opinions. Let me know what was your favorite part of the game tonight. And how are you guys feeling heading into Game 3? As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.